Hello my beautiful music besties and welcome back to another video. So about 2 weeks ago now, I said over on Instagram if you guys had any questions for a future Q&A video, what would they be? And you guys sent them in, so let's go over them. So first up, we have what was my first show ever? I'm so happy you asked. It was the Cheetah Girls. It was in December of 2005, so almost 20 years ago was my first ever concert. Then my second show ever was the Jonas Brothers, and my third was Avril Lavigne. And after seeing Avril, I never looked back. It was literally never a phase. Next question is, what kind of record player do you have? So the Victrola Hi-Res Carbon, I'm absolutely obsessed with. This is a turntable that I upgraded from an Audio-Technica. I recommend this as a upgrading sort of turntable. I don't recommend it being your starting out one. Price point's a little bit up there, especially if you're just getting into collecting. It works great for me. I think the only beef that I have with it is the lid. It's not actually attached to it, and I don't know if I love that or hate that yet, but it wasn't a major change. And speaking of turntables and setups and things like that, the next question is, what is your favorite part of your setup? Actually, my concert ticket wall. There is something that I love so much about being able to physically look back on the tours that I went to, the shows I've been a part of, just over the years. Easily one of my favorite DIYs that I've ever done. I posted a video on how to make them over on my TikTok page, so if you want an in-depth tutorial, feel free to head over there. I think it's like my third pinned video. I keep it up there forever. That way, anybody that does go to the page can see that and hopefully make one on their own as well. And they did away with physical tickets. At least every website I've purchased on recently has done away with physical tickets and wristbands. As soon as I started filling my little jar with all of my concert wristbands and like my friendship bracelets from shows, they stopped doing it. Also, I love how funny some of them were, because what do you mean I'm at a show and I get a happy birthday band? If you follow me on social media, you know what album I'm about to pull out for this next question, which is, what is your favorite album in your collection that you play a lot? So now that I've given us all time to actually say it out loud, Waterpark's greatest— no, I'm kidding. I got you there though, right? The Story So Far's Proper Dose. This is my favorite album to ever exist. It has been very hard for any albums to top this yet. Some have come close, especially their recent release has come really close. But there's just something about this. It came out at the perfect time for me. My brain got a hold of it and it changed forever. Just if you haven't listened, please trust me and give this a listen. Which leads us into our next question, which really made me laugh when I saw it come in. It's, why do you like The Story So Far so much? We're gonna get deep, and I hope you're ready. There are bands and there are artists that put out music that we vibe with, we think it's good. It doesn't have too much of an emotional connection or an emotional hold on us. But sometimes there are bands that start that way and it morphs. And the more music they put out and the more you grow along with them, the more of an emotional connection you get. And that's kind of how this was starting to go. I used to listen to them a lot. I was in my little rebellious teenage phase. We all have it. Fast forward a couple years out of high school and they put out another album. I'm driving home and I see that there's a new song out and it's called Upside Down. It's by The Story So Far. I was like, yep, I'm playing this. I want to listen to this because they've always put out amazing music. I'm listening to this song and I'm like, there's no way that a song like this exists. There's no way that I'm here in this time period listening to this beautiful song, feeling such a connection to it. And I couldn't pinpoint what the connection was. I just remember feeling at peace. And that feeling has forever stuck with me with this song. To make a long story even longer, it was just perfect timing for that album and that specific song to come out. It really pulled on my heartstrings. It just kind of opened my eyes a little bit more. I definitely needed it. It stilled me for a second and was just kind of like, hey, you got this. Take your time, write it out. And that's what we did. And I've tried to look for that in other artists and other bands, and I have not found it. And I hope some of this makes sense because sometimes I ramble, which leads us into our next question, which is favorite thing about music overall. I love listening to people talk, listening to people share their experiences, their ideas, their passions. I love listening to people talk. It is my favorite thing in the world. And that's kind of what music is to me. It's storytelling. It's being one-on-one with somebody, just being open and vulnerable. Even if they're not face-to-face, they're still telling you a story. They're giving you a piece of themselves, and I think that is so beautiful. I love creative things so much because it's literally people creating and figuring out a way to connect and be vulnerable and open with you without doing it directly. Another thing as well is music doesn't judge you. Music doesn't see a person. Music just connects with the soul. How I was talking about the story so far, like it connected with more than just me. It connected with who I am. And that's why I forever call it my soul album and my soul song. Like if you, again, if you follow me on other platforms, you have heard me say my soul album, my soul song connected on such a deeper level than just, oh, I like this. It brings people together. There's just something so special about how music can connect you with others, with yourself. And I love that. And that's one of my biggest things about music. And I wish I could sing and I wish I could play an instrument properly. I know in a past life I was definitely part of a band or something. I had to be. Next question is more specific. What is my favorite Halsey song? It changes all the time. So I'm going to give you the top 3, I guess. And I'm going to limit myself to 3 because if I keep talking, I'm going to add 4 and 5 and 6 and we'll be here forever. 3 a.m., You Should Be Sad, and 100 Letters. I want to add more so bad. Oh my god, I just thought of like 3 more. I'll keep it at the 3. Should I change them? No, I'm going to leave them. Next up is which opening band grabbed your interest after seeing them? I was going to see a band. The openers were State Champs, Tonight Alive. All the openers were really good, but the one that stuck with me the most was State Champs. So of course, I went home, I went onto YouTube, and I found all of their songs that they had music videos for that were already out and immediately watched the music video for Hard to Please, and it became my favorite music video for a while. It actually sparked my interest in hockey. So shout out State Champs for being the reason why I like hockey. Also because pop punk and hockey just really go together and I can't explain it, but it does, and I know that makes sense to a lot of you. Another band that I saw recently open was Nightly and The Wildlife. They were so good. I actually got pictures with Carson from The Wildlife. I'll insert this here. I look crazy, so I'm gonna hide my face. I almost missed the most important one of all. When I saw One Direction in 2013, 5 Seconds of Summer opened for them, and I immediately became a 5 Seconds of Summer fan. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Probably the longest running opening band that I've loved to this day. Yeah, I remember they played the song Lost Boy. I was immediately hooked. I was like, oh, I'm here for this. I am so here for this. This next one's a bit of a long one, so I have to read it off of my notepad. So it says, okay, bestie, what's a core memory you have at a show / favorite concert experience? I'll tell you, because this led to me getting a tattoo. It was my second ever Warped Tour date. Knuckle Puck's playing. It was the first time I was ever seeing Knuckle Puck live. We're in the pit. We're trying to get ourselves like forward every time like a band ends and people leave because I'm trying to be as close as I can for water parks. Knuckle Puck is still playing. They start playing Untitled. I stood there stunned. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I am frozen in place, just... It felt like time and everything just slowed down and people were moving in slow motion. I literally remember being in the middle of this pit and just looking up at them and just being like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. And then just got back right into it. And I ended up loving that song so much that I got a tattoo for it literally within the week. My mom thought this was going to be a lot smaller than it was. Never specified how big it was going to be. I just told her that I was going to draw it and it was going to be really cute and she would love it. She grew to love it. So thank you, Knuckle Puck, for being my first ever tattoo and my reason for being obsessed with tattoos now. So yeah, those are the questions that you guys send in. I think I hit them all. If not, I plan on doing this again so I can always hit that another time. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a thumbs up. I appreciate it greatly. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell while you're here as well. I post videos on here every Tuesday, and every Tuesday night we meet on TikTok Live to talk about music, things that are going on in the music realm, concert realm, things like that. Feel free to come join us. All my socials will be in the description down below, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!